Hey Harper, it's great to see you on this fine day.
Whoa, you're in a good mood today, Addie. What happened?
This is the best week I've had in a long time.
That's wonderful. Tell us all about it. What makes this so good?
Well, believe it or not, I ran into my teacher at the store yesterday.
Oh no, was she hurt?
I don't think she ran into her literally.
No, I just called out to her, but she kept pushing her cart along.
That's kind of rude. I can't believe she just kept on rolling.
No, she wasn't rude. She just didn't hear me. Maybe she had a grocery emergency or something.
Ooh, we had one of those last week. We ran out of Swedish fish at our house. I hate it when that happens.
That happened to me one time too. I was riding my bike and kept warning the joggers that I was passing till one ran right in front of me as I was coming by. And I wrecked. Turns out they're all wearing earbuds and couldn't hear me.
She didn't have her earbuds in, but she just couldn't hear me until I was running beside her. But once she realized her favorite student was talking to her.
Hey, we have the same teacher. I thought I was her favorite.
Anyways, she finally stopped, and we had a nice chat. Actually, I talked the most. I had so much to update her about.
I'm sure she enjoyed catching up with you. I love it when I see people out in public I know.
Well, she got an important phone call and had to rush off. She actually left without her cart.
What a shame, no Swedish fish.
Will, is that all you think about? I was actually thinking of how Addie's story reminds me of Jesus' teaching on prayer.
That's right, Harper. But Jesus did tell us to pray every day over our daily bread.
Yeah, but he didn't say anything about Swedish fish. Let's take a look at that today in Bible study.
Hey boys and girls, it's Miss Tracy, and I hope you enjoyed our skit. You may have noticed that in the skit, the student had to just keep going up to the teacher before finally the teacher listened. And that does remind us of a story that Jesus told his disciples. And you're going to get to study that this week during family worship. So Jesus actually told two stories that had to do with prayer. In the first one, he said, imagine that you had a guest come stay at your house, but you had nothing to feed them. And so they arrived very late at your home, and you went out to a neighbor's house at midnight and knocked on the door. And when the neighbor came, you said, please, I have nothing to feed my guests. Can you give me 3 loaves of bread? Well, this neighbor may have been kind of a crummy friend because his response was, we're sleeping and it's late. Go away. But Jesus said, because the person in the story went and boldly made a request, the neighbor gave him some food. And then Jesus tells the story about a judge. Not a very good judge. This judge doesn't love God and does not love people. But there's a widow who needs the judge to help her. So she goes again and again asking the judge for help. Well, the judge is not very loving and he doesn't want to help. But Jesus says, because the widow would not give up, because of her persistence, the judge finally helps her. Now, Jesus told these stories as he was teaching the disciples how to pray. And he wasn't saying that God is like a crummy friend, and he wasn't saying God is like a bad judge. He was saying that if you were to ask a bad friend or a bad judge to meet your need, and you asked boldly, and you were persistent, you asked again and again and again and again, and they finally met your need, how much more would your loving Father, God, who wants to give you good gifts, how much more would he meet your need when you are someone who prays boldly? You go to him to ask about what you need, and persistently. You pray again and again, and you never give up. I speak a lot of times about how I became a believer. I trusted Jesus when I was about 12 years old. But it was after years and years and years and years of my grandmothers praying for me to come to know Jesus. Now, what if they had given up somewhere along the line? Well, we don't know, because they didn't give up, and God did answer their prayer. And I'm so thankful He did. Boys and girls, as you think about praying this week, I want to share with you something that one of my ministers shared with me a long, long time ago. So you may know there's a book of the Bible called Acts, Acts, the book of Acts. And when you pray, this is a good way to think about prayer. You may want to start by just adoring God. That means telling God how much you love Him and everything you love about Him. Maybe you say, God, thank you for being faithful, for never leaving me alone. Thank you for taking care of me. You can adore Him. And then C is confessing. And that's when you tell God the things that you're struggling with and the sin in your life. And maybe you say, God, this week I've had a hard time being nice to my brother or sister. God, this week I haven't spent time with you the way that I should. But you confess to Him. And then Thanksgiving. Think about all the things you have to be thankful for. Maybe you're thankful for your home. Maybe you're thankful that your family is healthy. Maybe you're thankful for a blessing God's allowed you to have. And then this last one, the last part of prayer can be seeking. And seeking is when you're seeking God to meet your needs. Now, some of your needs may be that God would take care of a family member. Maybe a need is that God would help you as you start school again. But God knows what you need. And just like a good father, He wants to give you what you need. Now, that doesn't mean He gives us everything we want. Sometimes we think we need something and God says, no, you don't really need that. But He loves you and He wants to hear about what you need. And you can trust Him. He is a good Father who wants to meet those. So I hope that you will spend some time in prayer with God this week. And as you pray, remember to adore Him, confess your sin, tell Him what you're thankful for, and seek what you need from the only one who knows exactly what you need and how to give it to you. All right, I love you guys. Have a great week.